Okay, we are going to start solving system of equations. A system of equation is two or more. So when we talk about systems, we're talking about two lines, either parallel, that cross, or that are the same one on top of the other. Okay, two systems, that means equations. Okay, so we're looking at where they cross, but we're going to be doing it by hand today and tomorrow. So today's method is substitution. Okay, that's when you substitute something in and solve for the other one. So the steps are identify the equation that is solved for x or y. That means it should already be in y equals or in x equals. Okay? Step 2, substitute the expression into the other equation and solve for the variable. We're going to substitute. Vamos a sustituir. Substitute. And step 3, substitute your answer into the revised equation from step 1 and solve for the other variable. Okay? So I'm going to walk you through these steps, and then we're going to do delta math. And I like delta math because delta math, if you didn't get it and you don't know how to do it, then delta math shows you how to do it and refreshes your memory. Okay? So we're going to do problem 1. Make sure that you have one that is in y equals already. So this is my y, 4x minus 1. So I'm going to plug that in to here. Right here. Okay, so I have 4x minus 1 equals this other side, 2x minus 5. So what I did is I took this and I put it in here. Okay? So we're going to solve for x. So in order to solve, we have to get the x's on one side and the numbers on the other side. So I'm going to move this x here, change the sign, cambias el signo, and I'm going to put this one on the other side and change the sign. So the x is on the left side and the numbers on the right side. So right here, 4x, change the sign of this one, minus 2x equals. On the other side, I have negative 5. And then this one, when it comes over, what does it become? Plus 1. Okay? Combine like terms. You can use decimals if you want to. If you don't know how to add negative 5 plus 1, you can put that in decimals. But what is 4 minus 2? 2. 4 minus 2 is 2x. Okay? 4x minus 2x is 2x. Equals. What's negative 5 plus 1? You can put that in decimals. Negative 5 plus 1. Negative 4, right? So I'm going to type negative 4 right here. And then what's the last step? Divide. Divide this by 2, divide this by 2, cancel out. What is x? X equals what? Negative 2, because you put this in the calculator. Negative 4 divided by 2 gives you negative 2. That means my x, where they cross, my x is a negative 2. Am I done? No, because your answer needs to look like this. This is how your answer is going to look. Okay? So I have the x. The x is negative 2. So I just need to find the y. I need to find the y. So what I'm going to do, step 3, tells you right here to substitute your answer into the revised equation from step 1 and solve for the other variable. So I'm going to take this answer, my x, and you're going to substitute it in one of these two equations. I don't care which one. Okay, so I'm just going to put it in this one. My x, we just found out, is -2. So I'm going to put -2 right there. So I have y equals 2 parentheses -2 close parentheses minus 5. Okay, my -2, I put it right here where the x was. This was my x. Okay, so all you got to do is type this in Desmos. Type it in Desmos. 2 parentheses -2 minus 5. 2 parentheses -2 close parentheses. Was it plus 5 or minus 5? Minus 5. And it gives you a -9. So my y is -9. Y equals -9. So right here, I put -9, and I'm done. That's my answer. Okay? Okay, I'm going to go a little bit faster. Let's do problem number 2. Y equals 6x. So this 6x, I'm going to put it where the y is right here. Replace it. Lo vamos a reemplazar. So I have, you rewrite all of this. So 2x plus 3. This is my y equals -20. So what am I going to put in here? The 6x, right? And then we solve for x. So the first thing is multiply these two. What's 3 times 6? Use Desmos. 3 times 6 is 18. So this is 18x. Bring down the 2x. So 2x plus 18x equals -20. What can I do next? Do these two look alike? ¿Se parecen? Yes, so you can add them. 2x plus 18x is 20x equals -20. And then what's the last step? Divide. So divide by 20. Divide by 20. What's my x? So we put this in Desmos. -20 divided by 20. And it gives you -1. So my x is -1. X equals -1. So right here, -1 goes in the front because it's x. So now I need my y. So I'm going to plug this in right here where my x is. So y equals 6 and whatever x is. So replace it. What goes in here? ¿Qué va aquí? The -1, right? -1. So what's 6 times -1? -6. Y equals -6, and you are done. That means this is where these two cross. That's where they intersect. Okay, so this is my answer. Let's do number 3. My x equals -3y. So right here, no, not in the y, in the x. Right here, my x, I'm going to put that it's -3y. Replace it. So I have 3 parentheses plus 8y equals -5. So put this in here, -3y. Replace it. Okay, pause the video, work it out for just a little bit. Let me see if you can do it by yourself. Pause it. So in decimals, what is 3 times negative 3? Negative 9y. Okay, bring this down. Plus 8y equals negative 5. Add these two. Combine them. What did you get? What's negative 9 plus 8? Negative 1y equals negative 5. And then what's the last step? Divide. So divide this by negative 1. Divide this by negative 1. Y equals. What's negative 5 divided by negative 1? Positive 5. Okay. This is my y. So in my answer, does it go first or does it go last? This is my y, so it goes at the end. So I'm looking for the x, right? So I'm going to take my y, my 5, and I'm going to put it back in here, right here, y. So I have x equals negative 3 times 5. What's negative 3 times 5? Decimals. Negative 3 times 5. X equals what? Negative 15. Okay, so the x goes in here, negative 15. Again, what is this answer? What did I say this answer is? Y'all don't remember what I told y'all that this answer means with these two equations? It's where they cross. Donde cruzan, where they intersect. That is the point where they intersect, where the two equations intersect. Okay? All right, let's do the last one, number 4. Plug this in right here for x. Right? So I have 2 parentheses minus 6y equals 12. So this goes in here, 4y plus 7. We're going to distribute. 2 times 4y is 8y. 2 times 7, 14, positive 14. Everything else comes down, minus 6y equals 12. Okay, the numbers are going the letters are going to be on one side. Las y's en la izquierda, and the number is going to come over here and change the sign. So that's going to be minus 14. So I have 8y minus 6y equals 1 minus 14. So combinen. What's 8 minus 6? 8 minus 6. 2y equals, what's 1 minus 14? You can put that in decimals. 1 minus 14 is negative 13. So right here I have negative 13. So divide both sides by 2. Y equals negative 13 divided by 2. Negative 13 divided by 2 is negative 6.5. So I'm going to put negative 6.5 is my my y. So right here in my answer, negative 6.5 goes on the y. Then you plug that back in here. So you're going to do 4 times negative 6.5 plus 7 in decimals. Put that in decimals, and that's going to give you your x. So I messed up. It's supposed to be 12 minus 14. That gives you negative 2. Divide by 2. Divide